Hi, welcome back to my channel La Fraise. I'm Noémie, I'm a student in costume making here in Brussels and I also teach sewing in our haberdashery. Today I want to show you a quick tutorial on how to hack your sleeve so that you make yourself a beautiful tulip cuff like this one, or rounded cuff. So you can use any shirt pattern you like that has a square cuff, and then we're going to change it to make it something a little bit more dainty. Let's do this right now. Okay everyone, today we are making a rounded cuff, and the place you want to be at following your pattern instructions is having done the slit in your sleeve, be it one like this or an invisible one like the one I have shown in a tutorial that I will put in the description of this video. But basically you want your sleeve to be shut and to do the first part of the cuff, which is to attach it right side against right side. And this is where we are meeting. So the seam allowance has been pressed towards the cuff, and I've already pre-pressed the top here at the seam allowance indicated by the pattern. This is where we are meeting. If you are not quite there following your pattern instructions, I suggest you do that and then you come back to join me. So we're first going to attach our cuff right side against right side, just as if we were sewing it straight. So I'm coming to attach it like this. I'm putting a few clips to feel comfortable. You can also use pins, obviously. I'm doing this on the two edges because those are the ones we're working on today. You don't need to clip the whole part here because this we're not working on at the moment. So this is what it looks like. Put a few clips. And basically at this point, if I were to sew a straight line, I would sew a straight line from this point here where my cuff ends, and I would do a straight line all the way to the end here. And what I am going to start by doing is trace this straight line so I see where it would go, like so. You can see I don't have quite a centimeter of seam allowance like I normally should have. It's fine, we'll make it work. So here for your rounded cuff, you can have something as minimal as this. So I'm doing all of this with a heat erasable pen so that it can go away afterwards. As you can see here, I've slightly rounded the corner, and it's going to give a delicate edge to it without being too intense. So this would be a bit more tricky to sew because it's a tight curve and those are a little bit more difficult. Make sure your stitch length is not too long and that you take your time to turn it slowly. You could also, I'm going to show the opposite, you could do a very dramatic and slow curve like this and make it much bigger. As long as you don't go so low that your buttonhole is no longer accessible, you can make it as curved as you like. Here you can see the curve is about 1 centimeter, and here I'm making it go much more progressively towards the end. I personally like to go somewhere in the middle, something like this, slightly rounded but not too much. This is really a question of preference. You are drafting the curve that makes you happy. So once you have the curve you want to work with, you can copy it on the other side. And if you are not comfortable just redrafting it freehand to make it match, what you can do is use a little bit of tracing paper. And now that I have this little guide, I can go on the other side. I just need to first trace the line the same way I've done on the first side, like so. And then by putting my guide aligned to this line and my top edge, this gives me the curve I can copy exactly the same. This is not too tricky, but honestly those are small pieces. If you feel comfortable just tracing it by eye on both sides, it's probably fine. But this is the technique if you're not comfortable to make it exactly the same on both sides. What you could also have is have only the side of the cuff that has the buttonhole being rounded and the other being squared. And I will put a little graphic on the screen right now to show you what that would look like. It's also a style that you could decide that you want, so this is really personal preference and you can do whatever you like. It's your cuffs. I'm personally going to go rounded on both sides because it creates a tulip effect. I really enjoy in a sleeve. I think it makes it a lot more dainty and a lot more feminine. So that's what I will go for. So I have traced all of my 4 curves. So I will place my cuff like this. I have the part that's already stitched, already folded, and the part here on top is pre-folded as well. And I will really make sure that my needles goes in the continuation of this line so that it looks really smooth. And then I will follow this curve nice and carefully. You can see I'm going nice and slow in the curve. And a little back stitch before the end. This is what it looks like. So it's like this on the 2 or 4 edge that you want rounded, and then we'll meet after that. To be able to turn this neatly, we're going to need to trim some of the curve here. I will show you. You don't want to trim so much that it unravels from inside, but you do need to trim a fair amount to be able to turn it neatly, like this. And now I'm going to turn this over. And I have my rounded cuff. I'm going to give this a good press, like this, and then I'll do the top stitching required in my patterns. So some patterns require only top stitching here to shut the cuff, some make you top stitch all around. Do whatever your pattern tells you to do or whatever you want to do, and we're almost done. And here we are. Here are my rounded cuffs. So I still need to put the button. For full transparency, I did go and re-curve them because I wanted them a lot more curved than what I did originally in the video. So I followed the more drastic line that I have shown in the first example. I will show you which one now. So this is what it looks like. I'm very happy with the result. I did want a softer edge than what I had originally done with you. I will show you the two so you can really see the difference. My cuff is top stitched and ready for its button, and then it's all done. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll be really happy to try to help you in the comments. I also have a tutorial on how to do a sleeve placket if this is something you have never done, and I am filming a couple more tutorials about shirt making. So if this is something you are interested about, make sure you subscribe and keep an eye out for future tutorials that I will post. Thank you so much for watching. Give this video a big like if you found it useful, and I will see you in the next one. Don't forget that you can make anything. Bye!